What up, what up, what up, YouTube? Happy Friday, all that jazz. Hope everyone's doing well. I know we had a interesting week in YouTube trucking drama. Some shit happened that I didn't see coming. Right, I would not have guessed as such, but still interesting. So, old Tim Gentry kind of went off the deep end a little bit, right? And he finally broke. Right, he finally broke. He's been doing really well to like joke about shit and pretend he doesn't care. He's been doing really well, but he finally broke. Right, he got all pissed off. I'm gonna sue the shit out of you. I'm coming for everything you got. Right. So he finally broke. But then instead of just maintaining that, just keeping that, whatever the fuck you call that mentality, he then goes into Elite's most recent live feed to explain himself, right? Just answer questions like it's a fucking interview. And I mean, good job, right? Entertaining. But why would you do that? It doesn't make sense at all to do that, especially after you said you were going to sue the guy. Then you go in there and give him a bunch of information that would help him, win a lawsuit against you, which does not make sense. So, I don't know, guys. Definitely a weird fucking thing. And there he is right now. What up, Elite? So, fucking, this guy goes in there, starts explaining himself, which when you start explaining yourself, it's probably too late, right? There's a time and a place to explain yourself, but if you're trying to pretend like you don't care, the last fucking thing you want to do is to explain yourself, because then, obviously you look like you care, right? You care a whole lot once you're fucking explaining yourself. So, complete fucking 360 from old Tim Gentry, right? And you might ask yourself, why'd you call this blindness if we're just talking about Tim Gentry? Well, we're not just talking about Tim Gentry. We're talking about the people that still defend people like Tim Gentry, right? This dude, I don't know how much more obvious it can get, right? Two live feeds. The last two live feeds is all you need to know about Tim Gentry. Go to Elite Army, watch the one where he shows him flirting around with that Crystal Miller chick, and then watch the second one where he's in the comments trying to hastily explain himself, right? And when your wife is in another woman's comment section watching you to make sure that you're not flirting with her because that woman has a lot more in common with your husband than you do, that's probably a bad sign for your marriage, guys. That's all I'm going to say, right? And his fans will still defend him. I don't understand this like cultish mentality that these guys get for these big giant YouTubers. It doesn't make sense. Even when it's proven time and time again that they're fake. Fake as fuck. And people just don't seem to care. I don't understand it at all. But as far as the Crystal Miller chick goes, something interesting about that, we find this channel with like almost 8,000 subscribers on it with no content, right? She just kind of comes out of nowhere. And the first fucking video, like the first full-length video that she posts to YouTube is deadheading 1,700 miles to go hang out with Tim Gentry. Anybody that's running a truck right now, you know the market, right? Deadheading 1,700 miles in a good market's probably not good, even on a good day. But now you got somebody deadheading 1,700 miles, bringing three dually pickup fucking chase vehicles to move one boat, right? And I get it, right? I get it. It's an oversized load, right? You got to have fucking, you got to have a spotter vehicle and all that shit. But three of them, I've seen people move million pound fucking transformers with a guy in a fucking Chevy Astro van with a flashing strobe light on top. You don't need a 3500 Chevy pickup truck, especially not 3 of them. Right? I moved oversized, overweight shit in the oil field all the time, and I just drove by myself. I didn't even have a mega sleeper with a shower in it or a fucking twin stick. The only twin stick I ever drove was a dump truck that probably didn't even need the fucking twin stick in it. But I don't know. It seems odd to me that people would still believe that these guys are successful. I guess guys and gals now, right? They're successful from trucking, right? How are you successful in trucking when you're wasting 1,700 miles of fuel, right? You know who paid for that fuel? The idiots in the comments that still defend these people, that don't call them out for their fake bullshit, right? Don't call yourself a trucker, call yourself an entertainer, because that's all you are, right? There's still people that thought that fucking that ice road trucker shit was real. They were sitting in hotels waiting for the fucking filming to start. They drive a couple hours and then go back to the hotel. They weren't out roughing it. Not all of them, guys. Some of them were legitimate, but a lot of those people, they would just sit in a hotel and they would only drive the truck when it was on camera, right? That's the gentries of our little YouTube trucking space. Is faking it while they're on camera, but then not doing anything, outside of that. And then there was an email that was sent. I don't know about the email, right? I didn't get the email, but I want to know more about this email that was sent where somebody says that Tim Gentry was so overdrawn on his account he had to do something with his employees. Right? I want to know more about that. What's the story on that? I bet when that story comes out, there'll still be people talking about how Tim Gentry's a fucking superstar. Not everybody, though. I mean, like I said, the winds are turning. If you go into a Gentry chat, it's not all positive anymore. Right? There are some naysayers in there now. And it's not petty shit, right? They're not talking about relationships or how he raises his kids, right? It's not any kind of petty insults. It's legitimate. They're like, dude, you've been saying this for years and you still haven't done it. Or why do you not do this anymore? How come this is lazy? Or why this, why that? They're legitimate questions about his business. Right? And he just never addresses it. Sometimes a random person from the comments will come in there and be like, don't you dare talk bad about Gentry. Why? His business is so fucking fragile that he can't handle a little bit of constructive criticism from somebody? Right, if he wants to get mad about people calling him out on cheating on his wife, I mean, fair point. I would be kind of upset if I got caught cheating too. But some of the people commenting on him, they're not even talking about anything personal. They're just questioning his business sense, which is legitimate. This guy's no businessman. So this blindness is what props these people up. They go in the chat and they say, love your video. And then for the rest of the day, they act like they're best friends with the person because they commented. Like half the time, they don't even fucking like your comment. So what are you getting all excited about? And they're jumping to somebody's defense who's not going to defend them, right? Whoever that Justice Love guy is that ran fucking Unfiltered Plates, you think Gentry's going to have his back? Nope. You think if you make a fucking YouTube profile with your real name and talk 9 miles of shit because you're mad somebody's talking about Tim Gentry, do you think Gentry's going to save you? Nope. So why the blindness? What's so bad in your life that you just can't handle the fact that Tim Gentry might not be what he is on YouTube? It feels desperate, like a desperate cling to something unspoken. Oh my God, if Tim Gentry isn't who he really is, I'll have to admit some shit. Like, I don't know. What is the reason for the blindness? And then we got, what is that? We got Trucking Unfiltered in the house. What's up? Billy's here. What up, Billy? Trucking Alert. Michael Green says that email had too many facts to be fake. I agree. I agree. Right. Um, if it wasn't real, I don't think Timmy would have been over an Elite's live feed. I'll say that. Right. He would have kept doing what he was doing. Right. You got to get the thorn in the paw before you'll fucking look down. Right. From his lofty heights up there in YouTube greatness at all of us down here in the gutter, all of us regular people. All right. So that email was the fucking thorn in the paw. And he had to look down finally, grace us with his fucking magic YouTube presence. And that's how people treat these guys. They treat them like there's something greater. And I mean, I'm not going to say there's no work that goes into it, right? It takes a lot of work to convince a bunch of people that you actually are good at something or you know what you're doing, right? And there's one right now, Griff. You might as well change your name to Grief. It's not bitterness. I'm just commenting on what I see. Right. And again, I would ask you, since you're here commenting, obviously you have opinions on it. Why do you defend these people? Right. That's all they got. So you're just playing now he says he doesn't watch them, right? So I guess you're just devil's advocate. Thank God for you. Right. But again, it's not bitterness. I have no hate in my heart for somebody who's successful. I just have a problem with somebody who's disingenuous about it. If your success is based on YouTube, then fucking say so. Right? Like that, I don't think that's a problem. Even if your success is based on YouTube, you still have something that other people don't have, right? So it doesn't detract from your success. It just shows that you're arrogant if you don't, show the people around you that you appreciate their support for helping you to be what they are, right? Remember people kind of threw a little shade at Steve Jobs because he never respected the engineers and techies that worked for him. He always acted like he was Apple, like he was the whole fucking industry. That's how these YouTube truckers are, right? If they didn't have a bunch of YouTube sponsors and AdSense and people sending them super chats and subscribing to their memberships and shit, they couldn't act the way they do. You can't drive 1,700 fucking miles in this market. You can't deadhead that if you weren't propped up by something else, i.e. YouTube money, right? That's not hate. That's not bitterness. That's just logic. But I don't know, guys. I just had a short one today while I was running into work. I wanted to kind of rant about that. I know I haven't been live in a bit. I've been being lazy. Right? That's why I don't have a pole barn in Tennessee and a bunch of slave laborers working for me, is because I don't get on YouTube enough. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching. I do appreciate if you like and subscribe to the channel. Again, I don't need your money. It just annoys these guys when you have a lot of subscribers, because then that's all they care about is legitimacy by numbers, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate it. Go watch those 2 Elite live feeds, and you'll see everything you need to see about Gentry. Just don't be blind, guys. Don't be blind.